Back in high school, I was just drifting through life without any direction. I was just going through the motions every day, barely getting by. I used to think that people, like me, were destined to rot in the mud. That was until a transfer student joined our class one day. She was a straight-A student, but her looks were quite unfortunate. Everyone mocked her, calling her a monster. Yet, in her eyes, I felt like I was looking at my past self. So I decided to lend her a hand. I didn't think this group would actually have a little side effect. Later, to avoid hindering her progress, I put on a tough act and threatened her. Please don't overthink it. You are so unattractive that I have no feelings for you. She was obviously really frightened and heartbroken, yet she still held her head high and stubbornly said, "No matter what you say, I won't back down." I heard there's going to be a transfer student in Lao Gao's class. My desk mate, Gao Yuan, dropped a bombshell during the break. Is it really true that there are transfer students even in senior year? Is it a pretty girl or a handsome guy? Someone will jump in quickly. It is a top student that was recruited. Make sure your expectations aren't too high. This academic achiever looks pretty hard to describe. What is up with him? Does he have multiple noses? How many mouths does he have? No. Feel free to let your imagination run wild. I promise you'll remember this for a lifetime. Gao Yan was being all mysterious. It instantly fired up everyone's enthusiasm. People began to chatter excitedly. Someone joked that the principal had a lump on his face. It resembled venom, probably some sort of alien. Before long, Lao Gao walked in with the person everyone was gossiping about. Into the classroom they went. Who knows how much of this chatter actually got through? The moment they laid eyes on the transfer student, the classroom went completely silent in an instant. This new student is really intimidating. It looks like a chunk of his nose has been bitten off, leaving it completely sunken. The skin around his lips is all scarred up. The bumps are densely packed and really creepy. Lao Gao said with a straight face, "Let's have the new student introduce himself." "Hi everyone, I'm Bai Ningbing." I, who had been sprawled on the desk, had no response at all. Suddenly twitched my ears at that moment. No one knows that I'm actually sensitive to sound. Bai Ningbing's voice is soft and shy. That is exactly my favorite kind of voice. I glanced up to size up this new classmate. I quickly looked away and went back to lying down. I wanted to drift back to sleep, but the classmates around me kept me awake. The increasingly blatant mockery and discussions. I couldn't help but frown. This is just too ugly. I am definitely going to have nightmares tonight. I am desperately looking for a pair of eyes that haven't seen this woman. Everyone was chattering away, each of us chiming in. Lao Gao noticed this and suddenly slammed the table. He was serious and quiet, but he didn't reprimand anyone. Those students who speak harshly, that is because he doesn't like this school either. Top students brought in to enhance the school's reputation. He believes that female students are inferior to male students. Students with good psychological resilience may perform inconsistently during exams. To be blunt, she has a strong bias towards boys. In her classes, she hardly ever pays attention. She also never asks female students. However, the school has assigned him a so-called female top student. Getting good scores in the college entrance exam should be a given. If things don't go well, those leaders will surely be suspicious. What about his teaching skills? He doesn't think girls are better than boys. So, when dealing with this big problem, he won't provide anyone with any psychological preparation beforehand. Respect the new transfer students, and just keep a low profile. His nephew Gao Yuan is the one stirring up trouble. Bai Ningbing, go sit with Gao Yan. I don't want to have nightmares and end up not getting enough rest. What can I do about my declining grades? Gao Yuan straightforwardly rejected the suggestion, using the fact that his homeroom teacher, Lao Gao, is his uncle. Lao Gao was getting ready to convince his nephew. Sitting next to a top student could boost his grades. Senior year is a critical time. The other classmates quickly chimed in. I also don't want to be his desk mate. Please just take a glance and lose some weight. Okay? I really don't want her as my desk mate. Otherwise, I'll just go home and tell my dad to pull his investment. People's reactions are getting more and more out of hand. This makes me reminisce about the moment when my best friend betrayed me in middle school. Back then, I faced similar rejection from everyone, like a venomous snake in the highlands. Given your consistently low grades, is there any space left for influence? I witnessed all of this. The storm's leader, Liang, finally spoke. Okay, Lao Gao. It seems like things are about to get messy. He quickly cut me off. So, Bai Ningbing, you can be desk partners with Feng Yuan. Be a little quicker. I collected the scattered textbooks from the table to my side, keeping my attitude the same, putting them away on my side. I'm the kind of rebellious student who doesn't study well and doesn't listen. Lao Gao has always hated this the most. so I won't lead others astray. I've always sat alone, without a partner, so I set Bai Ningming next to me. This will save us from having to assign someone else. The place is quite convenient. Lao Gao isn't expecting much from this. The so-called female star student probably won't produce good results. After all, the school Bai Ningbing attended before. Its scale is even less than 1.5 times that of my school. Once Bai Ningming sat down, most of the desk space was freed up. I wish I could just shrink myself even further away, so as not to take up more space. I felt completely baffled. Why are you sitting so far away? You are sitting in the aisle. Do I seem like someone who would eat people? No, thanks. Bai Ningbing whispered. He is just accustomed to his previous deskmate. By drawing a line, it only leaves him a little space. I have no idea what you are thanking for. As soon as he finished speaking, I just lay back down to keep sleeping. I don't pay attention in Lao Gao's class. I really can't stand this homeroom teacher. Bai Ningbing straightened her body. While attending the class, I couldn't help but use my spare time, secretly observing your deskmate. This is different from before. Her new deskmate only has a Denmore expression on his face, without disdain, without sarcasm. One would not find him strange or ugly, made her feel very at ease. At this moment, the unease in her heart caused by transferring schools quietly faded away a lot. He actually hates changing to a new environment. Unfortunately, there is nothing I can do. His mother has already taken the principal's support. No matter if she adapts or not, she has to attend the new school. While I was taking a nap, the more he thinks about it, the more frustrated he becomes. To him, I am just an orphan with no parents. I have no backing whatsoever. He even had the audacity to humiliate her in front of the entire class. He can't let this go. I am constantly thinking about how I need to confront him after class. The moment the class bell rang, Lao Gao had just exited the classroom. Gao Yuan hurriedly rushed to my side and slammed his hands on the table. Hey Feng Yuan, what's your deal? Is there anything wrong with standing up for this monster? Damn, I've been fed up with you for a long time. What gives you the right to act all high and mighty? Gao Yun frowned. He yanked my collar and lifted me out of my seat. He is nothing but an illegitimate child. He can't even take care of himself, and he still wants to boss others around. I mean, you can't actually have a crush on that kind of monster. Can you? No way. Right? You two one. An illegitimate child and the other a monster. Really make a perfect pair. I definitely don't want to look up to such trash. Just stand up straight with the force, gazing up at the lofty heights. You really resemble a circus clown. What do you even think you are? Oh, wait, you're not even worth mentioning. Today, I'm definitely going to teach you a lesson, you little wildling. After saying that, Gao Yuan, in a fit of rage, swung his hand and punched me. I lost my balance and bumped my left forehead against the steel ruler on the table. Blood instantly streamed down from my forehead. Without saying a word, I just grabbed my chair and smashed it right onto Gao Yuan's head. Damn, the blood on my face freaked Gao Yuan out. And this reckless intensity, I have no choice but to dodge, until he let out a scream. It was only then that the classmates watching the commotion reacted and rushed to break it up. Are you freaking crazy? I am crazy. So don't provoke me. You're still bleeding from your forehead. Where's the nurse's office? I'll take you there. Bai Ningbing anxiously suggested. Ji Xing. Let's quickly find the school doctor. Let's go check on the only chubby kid in class who's close to me. He just grabbed my arm and dashed out of the classroom. Once we got to the infirmary, the school nurse quickly took care of my bleeding. Then, he advised me to lie down for a bit to see if I felt dizzy. Once I lay down, I waved my hand, telling Xiaopeng and Bai Ningbing to head back to class. Xiaopeng nodded and walked away, but Bai Ningming refused. I am so sorry. Really sorry. Everything is because of me. I watched her, her eyes filled with guilt and tears, her brow tightly knitted. She listened to everything I said and did. I am just following my heart. It is not your concern. What kind of trouble are you bringing upon yourself? You only said, hello everyone from start to finish. What did you do wrong? The ones who are wrong are those who unjustly mock you. The ones who are against you. Cosmetic surgery and beauty technology have come so far now. Later, you can just make some money to get it repaired. I've heard you are quite the academic star. Work hard and aim for a broader horizon. Engage with people from higher circles. These random slanders, you don't need to take these seriously. I sat up and gave Bai Ningming's shoulder a reassuring pat. I gazed into her eyes with a gentle, yet firm expression. You did nothing wrong. You've been right all along. These 3 words felt like a key unlocking everything. She has unlocked the layers of shackles that Bai Ningbing didn't bother with. What's the big deal about being the top in learning? Looking this ugly is just plain unlucky. I bet if she were to star in Alien, or aliens wouldn't even need to wear makeup. They could just act as themselves. But I was just kidding. She looks really scary. Isn't that the truth? You look really weird. Hitting you would just soil my hands. But there is nothing I can do about it. Who said I was in a bad mood today? No matter how hard Bai Ningbing tries to convince herself and tries to overlook this malice, she still inevitably gets affected. Clearly, he did nothing wrong, yet he has to bear endless disdain and humiliation, even bullying. But she doesn't dare to cry. He knows from experience that crying, screaming, and begging for mercy often just excites the bullies even more, which often only serves to fuel the excitement of the bullies, leading them to intensify their torment of her. All she needs to do is quietly endure it. She just has to wait until they are tired and worn out. And only then will she find a moment of peace. The disdain and indifference from her mother, the bullying she faced from her classmates, have built a fortress that has trapped her. It has frozen all her joys, sorrows, and emotions. For all these years, feeling numb and indifferent, I've just been dragging this broken body around. I still don't know what I've been waiting for all this time. Bai Ningbing finally realized. He is waiting for someone, tenderly yet firmly, tell him that he's not at fault. It's not your fault that you were bullied for how you look. Don't shoulder the blame for others' mistakes. Your future is full of bright prospects and endless possibilities. The more Bai Ningbing cried, the more he let go. It felt like he wanted to unleash all the emotions he had bottled up for years. All the frustrations inside me are fully expressed. This really puts me in a tough spot. Feeling helpless, I can only pat his back, reassuring him that it's okay and not to cry. Everything will turn out fine. Bai Ningbing just keeps on crying loudly. There's no sign of her calming down. I knitted my brows. Veins are throbbing at my temples. I am the one lying on the hospital bed. I'm the one who's injured. I am the one who should really be crying here. Bai Ningbing hiccuped while crying. I let out a helpless sigh. I dug out a piece of candy from my pocket. I swiftly ripped open the packaging. I popped it into Bai Ningbing's mouth. This sudden change really interrupted his crying. What's this? Bai Ningbing blinked in confusion, but soon, the sweetness in his mouth told him the answer. Quickly revealed the answer. He gazed up at his new deskmate, bathed in the warm afterglow. The golden sunlight seemed to envelop him in a radiant glow. Those narrow, upturned phoenix eyes held a subtle smile. He had thin lips and ink-black hair. His brows and eyes were exquisite, resembling a masterpiece sculpted by Nua. Wrapped in sunlight, hope melted away the gloom inside Bai Ningbing's heart. The pains of the past slowly fell apart. Yet, it felt as though something deep inside was taking root and blossoming. It's truly a blessing to be at this school and meet the person standing before me. Bai Ningbing's feelings began to settle down. Soon enough, Gao Yuan was escorted to the infirmary by two classmates. However, before Gao Yuan had the chance to make a sarcastic remark, old Gao hurried over as soon as he got the news. Old Gao shot me a sharp look. Such a little brat, born to a mother yet raised without one. Starting so young, he's already on the wrong path. You need to bring your guardian to school tomorrow. I really dislike it when others bring up my parents. It's as if avoiding this topic helps me fool myself. The reality is that I haven't been abandoned. What old Gao said is like ripping off the scar of my own self-deception. A sharp glint flashed in my slightly squinted eyes. I clenched my fists tighter and tighter. Teacher, you really hit the nail on the head with your words. As my homeroom teacher, take a moment to think about it. Has anyone ever occupied my seat at a parent-teacher meeting? Perhaps they have already passed away out there. If you want to see them, I can't help you pass the message. Why not go have a chat with them yourself? A smile floated in my eyes. His lips curled into a sarcastic smirk. He shrugged, as if he was at a loss. He nonchalantly grabbed a sharp knife lying on the table. He strolled over to the uncle-nephew duo. I'm just an orphan, with no mom or dad. I have no idea why I should keep living. No one should try to pull a fast one here. Otherwise, I can't promise this knife won't find its way into him. In an instant, everyone in the clinic stared at me in shock and dread. Crazy Fang Yuan, you are just a lunatic. Gao Yuan is the sole male in the Lao Gao family's generation. You could say, he grew up in a real honeypot. He has sailed through life without any obstacles. Even though he can be pretty arrogant at home, he has never encountered anything like this before. He trembled as I moved closer to him. He was too scared to fight back while I had the knife. I lightly made a cut on his forehead, just on the left side. A small wound opened up right away. Blood gushed out immediately. The plateau screamed out in despair. They stepped back in fear. I shot a sarcastic look at Lao Gao. Teachers, please make sure to ask my parents if they're considering coming to school. I've almost forgotten what they look like. Then, I composed myself as I fiddled with the small knife in my hand. I reclined back on the bed. Who would bother arguing with a lunatic? Naturally, the answer is no. Lao Gao didn't dare to stay here any longer. He directed a few classmates to assist Gao Yuan. Then he left the school infirmary. He went to an off-campus hospital to treat his wounds. After all, as I've mentioned, he has truly never met my parents. If things continue to unfold, if I am provoked and end up doing something, then it would be too late for regrets. So, he thought it over for a bit, decided to let this matter slide. After all, he still needed to inform San. There is no need to create more trouble. He can just ignore this person from now on. After all, with Jixing's performance, he would never amount to anything in this life. Lao Gao thought to himself. The drama in the infirmary was quickly exaggerated. It seemed everyone had a similar version. Bai Ningbing has come under my protection. This made the classmates hesitate to go after Bai Ningbing for the time being. For Bai Ningbing, this is quite a lovely misunderstanding. Her learning environment has never been this peaceful before. That is why she tends to depend on me without even realizing it. Initially, she was concerned about my injury. She constantly stayed by my side. I didn't make much of a fuss about it. I just kept showing her around the cafeteria and other places, like the library. Little by little, Bai Ningbing began to sift through the idle chatter. I am not fond of people standing too close to me, so he always maintained a distance of 3 or 4 steps from me. He followed me like a little tail. I chose to ignore this and let it happen. After all, it is the senior year. The college entrance exam is just around the corner. I truly hope this overachiever gets great results to set him up for a great start in life. So that morning, just as class was over, as I approached the classroom door, I noticed that my usual top student companion wasn't there. Surprisingly, I found myself feeling a bit out of place. I halted for a moment, my eyes darting around. Unable to hold back any longer, I turned around and made my way to Bai Ningbing. I tapped on his desk and inquired, "Why aren't you heading to the cafeteria?" Bai Ningbing's face turned red in an instant. He answered me softly, "I have someone coming over." I stayed silent for a moment. He nervously scratched his head. "Did you forget to bring your pad?" Bai Ningbing lowered her head even more. "The final class has arrived. I'll tidy up once. There are fewer people." I took off my school jacket without saying anything. I tossed it into his arms and wrapped it around him. "I'll take you back to the dorm to deal with it." Bai Ningbing accepted the clothes. She shyly bit her lip. "Thanks, Feng Yuan. You're really great." I couldn't help but raise an eyebrow at what he said. A hint of amusement flickered in my narrow eyes. I didn't reply. Once Song Baining got back to the dorm, as he was cleaning up, I pondered for a moment. I ended up going to the cafeteria to get him some food. Baining insisted on holding onto my coat. He kept saying it had to be cleaned before he gave it back to me. I just nodded in agreement. After handing him the lunchbox, she walked back to the cafeteria. Recently, my days at school have become increasingly difficult to endure. When Lao Gao was filling in for me, he took a hands-off approach towards me. After the incident in the school infirmary, they completely ignored me from start to finish. Other teachers have also become indifferent to me under his influence. This makes me just go through the motions at school every day. Freedom and indulgence, never knowing what learning is. But in the past couple of days, Lao Gao has had some family matters to attend to. I have to take a week off. The school only sent the homeroom teacher from the neighboring class to cover the class. Sao Rui is a stunning female teacher, just in her early 30s. He really knows how to manage the class. Well, the number of students who reached the top score in his last class hit a new record. So it makes sense that I've caught his attention. Great teachers never give up on any student easily. He is also good at flaunting Ying Kaishi with pride. At this moment, I'm being called to his office for the 8th time for a heart-to-heart. It is only the 2nd day since Sao Rui took over the class. He got straight to the point and asked directly, "Why are you sleeping during English class? Feeling tired?" I shrugged my shoulders nonchalantly. Sao Rui was a bit surprised, then let out a helpless sigh. "You don't have to be that honest. You might want to add some context in such a brief sentence, like saying you were up late, finishing your homework, which led to a lack of energy." "Teacher, are you trying to teach me how to lie?" I chuckled. "Not really. I actually thought you'd come up with an excuse. Then, I would take apart your excuses one by one. In the end, I would use a lesson of love to enlighten you." Cao Wei let out another sigh. The pace has completely been thrown off now. This teacher is being overly dramatic. I couldn't stop myself from laughing out loud, but at least this teacher has lightened up the serious atmosphere in this office considerably. So Feng Yuan, why aren't you focusing in class? If you don't put in the effort in your senior year, you'll never realize how much potential you truly have. You'll never know how outstanding you can really be. Teacher, I held back my smile and quietly interrupted him. Not everyone yearns for excellence. I just want to live a quiet and mediocre life. I never intended to go to any university. I am not blind to what is good. I just don't want to live like that anymore. A life where you work desperately but still can't see the future, that is just too exhausting and meaningless. Cao Rui thought for a moment. Looking into my eyes, can you tell the teacher why that is? I bowed my head in silence. My thoughts were consumed by memories of being abandoned, until my hands were tightly balled into fists. Even my nails were digging into my palms. The blood traces no longer seemed to matter. Father, you speak, and I listen. This reflects my attitude of conceding. Cao Rui had to let me go back to the classroom. Feng Yuan, how are you doing? Bai Ningbing sensed the tension surrounding me. He inquired with a caring tone. His voice was warm and soothing, like a clear stream trickling. It instantly soothed my agitated heart. For a voice-sensitive person, it is simply impossible to resist the voice they are drawn to. I rested against the windowsill. My feelings gradually settled. I carelessly lifted the corners of my mouth. What could possibly be wrong with me? I've been used to getting scolded by teachers for a long time. I've actually gotten closer to this top student. Perhaps it is because we're both people who feel isolated. It is not weird for us to band together. Moreover, I really like Bai Ningbing's voice. I often find myself wanting to tease him into talking a bit more. Suddenly, I felt like I remembered something. I suddenly straightened up. I searched through my desk for a bit. I finally managed to pull out a piece of paper and handed it to Bai Ningbing. That sketch was something I doodled when I was feeling bored. Bai Ningbing has well-defined facial features. There aren't any ugly scars. There are no flaws in his appearance. He looks both delicate and adorable. Bai Ningbing's hand, gripping the paper, trembles slightly. He isn't very good with words. In the end, he could only bow deeply to express his thanks. Feng Yuan has said thank you to you many times. You don't have to be polite with me. It is just a quick sketch anyway. I waved it off. Bai Ningbing treasured the drawing paper with utmost care. She delicately slipped it between the pages of the book. She was worried about getting it dirty or crumpled. I found it a bit amusing. It really wasn't necessary. If you like it, I can spend some time drawing a few more for you. Bai Ningbing nibbled on her lip. She responded in a voice only she could hear. It is necessary. It is very important. Me, already dozing off on the table. Of course, he didn't pay attention to this little incident. Last night, I worked the night shift and barely made it through. I am feeling extremely tired right now. I didn't lie to Cao Rui. After all, senior year feels like it has been put on pause. Before I knew it, the first half of the semester flew by. Before I realized it, winter break was right around the corner. I've been working my part-time job for a while now. I head to work with the sunrise. I return home under the moonlight. I particularly enjoy walking past the Phoenix Bridge on my way back home, listening to the gentle gurgle of water. I think it is a feast for the ears. I've always been sensitive to sounds. This time, unlike before, there is a frail figure sitting on the railing. Logically, it is very dangerous for Da Chao to be on the railing. Normally, no one would climb up there so easily, unless that person is contemplating suicide. I hesitated for a moment, but ultimately decided to intervene. You should never hurt yourself for people or things that aren't worth it. If you have any issues, feel free to come down and talk about it. If there is anything I can do to help, just let me know. The instant I heard the sound, the figure on the railing suddenly shook. Then I turned back, in shock. The atmosphere was chilling and harsh. Bai Ningbing was already wearing thin clothes. At this moment, she was trembling from the cold. I was just as surprised for a moment, but I quickly came to my senses. With a frown, he pulled her down from the railing. He took off his coat and draped it over him. First, come back home with me. Then, you can tell me what happened. Bai Ningbing hasn't had anything to eat all day. Right now, she is cold and hungry. After sitting on the railing for too long, her legs felt weak. The moment the axe dropped to the ground, he stumbled. I quickly helped him regain his balance. In the end, I just couldn't bear to watch any longer. He crouched down to signal that he wanted a ride, urging me to hurry up. It is freezing, so I gave you my coat. I definitely don't want to fall ill. As for my request, Bai Ningbing realized that she always seemed unable to say no, so she sweetly climbed onto my back. letting me drag her legs along. We slowly made our way home. Once I turned on the light at home, I could clearly see the long mark on Bai Ningbing's face. There are tear stains, along with a hint of lingering despair. I furrowed my brow a bit. Did someone pick on you? Mom's feeling down because she lost money in gambling. I can't come up with the money, so I can only take out my frustration on someone else for her. My eyes suddenly turned. I see. Is there anywhere else hurt besides your face? My back is hurt too. My arms and my whole body ache. Bai Ningbing was anxiously holding onto the corner of her clothes. She sat quietly on the sofa. Let me go get you some medicine. I gave his head an annoyed pat. I looked somewhat disappointed, as if I wished he could do better. Have you just been eating for nothing all this time? If someone hits you, just fight back. Besides, the doctor has committed a crime. At the very least, you could report it to the police. And you still call yourself a straight-A student. Why not consider ways to take care of yourself? All you can think about is jumping into the river. It's rare to see a hint of panic on Bai Ningbing's face. An answer that felt a bit awkward. I thought that when I got to my senior year, I could hold on until college when I would be far from home. Then, life would be easier. I just can't figure out why. Lately, my mom has been really emotionally unstable. She often vents her frustrations on me for no reason. I have never had such an experience. Therefore, no better suggestions can be provided. You can wait for me to finish applying the medicine on his arm, faintly seeing that fair back. When there are dozens of wounds, it seems that things are not so simple. I'll take you to the police station. The injuries on you are no longer as simple as family background. This is simply abuse. I threw the medicine in my hand onto the table. I slipped on my coat and was ready to head out with Bai Ningbing, but it seemed like she remembered something unpleasant. She squatted down, clearly frightened. She hugged her head and shook it back and forth. Please don't hit me. I am sorry, I made a mistake. Seeing her act this way only made me angrier. Bai Ningbing, look at me, Fang Yuan. Never mind, never mind. I'm already used to this. Since it's senior year, I don't want to complicate things further. I really don't want to mess up the college entrance exam. Bai Ningbing looked at me with tearful, red eyes. She was continuously begging me. Oh really? If you're used to it, then make sure to apply the medicine properly. Just hurry back home. And don't get in my way here. Bai Ningbing failed to grasp my anger. Once she applied the medicine, she actually tidied up her clothes and was ready to leave. I watched as she pushed the door open and left without looking back. My expression darkened. I seized her wrist. I'm really scared of you now. Are you hooked on getting beaten up? You still want to go back, don't you? I firmly pushed her back onto the sofa. If you want to live at my place, and if you're not worried about what others think, I might reluctantly let you stay until school starts. After all, you are from Nice's province. Bai Ningbing's pupils suddenly shrank. Her eyes slowly filled with gratitude and grievance. She was ready to pour her heart out to me. My mom says, I am just too ugly. This makes her really unlucky all the time. She is always losing money or blaming me for it. Why can't I be a little better? Then she could get more financial support from the school. Nobody will like me. This ugly monster. Mom has to raise me just because she's my mom. So I've been thinking about this ever since I was a kid, wondering if I looked better or worked harder. Would mom love me a little more? Then I wouldn't have to face constant beatings. Children who are too well behaved often habitually search for reasons within themselves. Furthermore, Bai Ningbing's upbringing has always been in an environment is that everyone regards her as a repulsive monster. They wish she would just vanish from this world. She has long been accustomed to beatings, humiliation, and mockery. All I feel is heartache. I believe that if Bai Ningbing had the choice, she probably wouldn't want to be in this world either. But why should the mistakes of adults? It is important for the child to bear some responsibility. I gradually crouched down. I carefully lifted my hand to gently touch the scars on Bai Ningbing's face, so serious that there will be someone who truly likes you. Don't easily doubt yourself. Even though I don't mind if a girl lives in the house, will others gossip about me? But ultimately, for Bai Ningbing's sake, that night, I still found an internet cafe to spend the night. Since I took Bai Ningbing home, he has been smiling a lot more. I've also gone back to his place with her a few times. I grabbed a bunch of study materials. While she was gearing up for the college entrance exam, I was busy earning some cash. We were both caught up in our own stuff. But surprisingly, our harmony and understanding grew deeper. That day, I just got off work and headed home, took a shower, and planned to whip up something to eat in the kitchen. I noticed Bai Ningbing coming over with a bowl of soup. How does it taste? I just learned to make it. There was a look of excitement on his face. I took a sip from the bowl. It was quite salty, but not bad. But right now, your main job is to focus on your studies. You can wait to cook until I get back from work. If you are ever short on time, just grab some money from the drawer and head downstairs for a bowl of noodles. I downed the salty water in the bowl in one go. I said calmly, without changing my expression, "Oh, I understand now. I just noticed that you've been working really hard. I was wondering if there was anything I could do to help you." Bai Ningbing shyly lowered her head. Actually, he had tasted that bowl of soup, and it was really salty. He was going to throw it away, originally, but suddenly, out of nowhere, he just froze up. It ended up spilling anyway. She took a careful glance at me. She thought she was being very subtle. What he didn't realize was that I had already noticed these little actions of his. What he didn't know was that I'd been paying attention to these little things he does. "You handle the table while I take care of the cooking." I quietly looked away, but my heart suddenly skipped a beat. I am no emotional novice. As for the crushes of young girls, I've definitely seen my fair share. Now, all of Bai Ningbing's behaviors clearly show that she has feelings for me. My gaze darkened, willing to take him in at the beginning. I just feel sorry for her. I also saw my former self in him. That is why I wanted to lend him a hand. Where would one think of Bai Ningming? Just because I received some care from you. Just take this feeling of gratitude, transforming into a budding romance. It seems that some things need to be clarified, I murmured. Someone like me, how could I possibly hold anyone up? I had just sat down and was about to, before I could even put my plan into action. An unexpected visitor showed up. I found myself in a cramped hallway. Standing there were about a dozen bodyguards dressed in black, surrounded by a woman who looked dignified, who was elegantly and lavishly dressed. I thought this woman looked a bit familiar. I have a feeling I've seen him somewhere. It wasn't until I noticed the necklace on his neck that it suddenly dawned on me. Isn't she the wealthy heiress frequently featured in the news? Is it Yi Liu Qing Yan? Liu Qingyan's life is nothing short of legendary. Her dad is a real estate mogul. Her mother is a princess from an overseas royal family. Being a rich heiress, she has her own impressive abilities. Despite being young, he has made it onto the top 50 rich list through his own hard work. He has secured a spot in the top 50 of the wealth ranking. He is known for being generous and open-hearted. He is also enthusiastic about charitable activities. I frequently see news about Liu Qingyan. However, I just can't understand how could someone so wealthy come to my home uninvited. I am here to find my daughter, Ning Bing. Liu Qingyan's voice carried a slight tremor, yet her tone remained very resolute. Bai Ningbing, having heard the noise, stood frozen in place as well. I soon snapped back to reality and welcomed the person inside. Liu Qingyan understood my intention and didn't decline. She simply waved her hand, signaling the bodyguard to wait outside. Liu Qingyan gazed at the scarred face of Bai Ningbing with a heart full of love and sorrow. Her eyes were puffy and red after a long silence. She started to recount the events from that year. At that time, Liu Qingyan was a rich heiress. She fell for a poor boy named Bai Muyao. Liu Qingyan's parents agreed to their marriage under the condition that Zhou Hangsheng was set to become a live-in son-in-law. However, Bai Muyao is someone with fiercely ambitious goals. He not only cheated on Liu Qingyan while she was pregnant, but also got his mistress pregnant. He even switched the two newborns. He intended to raise the mistress's child to eventually take over the Chu family. Liu Qingyan had never doubted her husband. It wasn't until she accidentally discovered her husband's conspiracy with the mistress. That is when she started to investigate, and the more she dug, the more shocking the revelations became. It turned out that Bai Muyao had always felt disrespected by everyone in the Chu family. This led to an unbalanced mindset, and his character gradually began to twist. The husband she slept with had secretly loathed her for a long time. Since Bai Muyao showed no mercy, Liu Qingyan decided to be completely ruthless. She swiftly and decisively took care of Bai Muyao and the mistress. They were bundled up and sent off to jail, and people were arranged to treat this pair of dogs well inside. Bai Ningbing believed that her mother was the mistress from back then. Recently, she got some news that triggered her fear. This led him to give Bai Ningbing a severe beating. As for why he didn't just kill her and cover his tracks, it was simply because the mistress lacked the guts. The reason why Bai Ningbing and I were able to during those days successfully retrieve the study materials from his house. It is also because the mistress has already run away. She is inherently a timid and cowardly person. Otherwise, they wouldn't have followed Bai Muyao's arrangement to swap the child. Even on the way to escape, my mind is unsettled. accidentally dropped the child on the ground, caused Bai Ningbing to be disfigured. This story is really full of twists and very melodramatic. Until I saw Liu Qingyan off, Bai Ningbing was completely lost in thought. It is no surprise that he either hit or scolded me all the time when I was a kid. He even hoped I would die. So, I wasn't even my mother's child after all. Bai Ningbing cried silently. She had once yearned so much for a mother. It was all just a mirage, like the moon in the mirror and flowers in the water. I quietly offered him a tissue. I didn't say a word. After all, it is never easy for anyone to hear things like this. People from outside just can't offer any real comfort. For several days after that, Bai Ningbing was in a daze. To avoid her feeling down, I had no choice but to delay the original plan. Luckily, Liu Qingyan came by again shortly. He slapped the identification documents down on the table. It confirmed that they were indeed mother and son. By this time, Bai Ningbing's emotions had settled down quite a bit. She gradually accepted the reality. I wisely let them have the house, so the mother and daughter could reminisce. The two of them chatted for quite a while. Eventually, Bai Ningbing agreed to head home with Liu Qingyan, but before that, his only request was to say a proper farewell to me. Upon arriving home, I spotted the bodyguard in the hallway, and Bai Ningbing's bags were all packed. I could roughly guess what his decision was, and I felt a sudden wave of relief wash over me. Bai Ningbing couldn't resist diving into my arms. While crying, she said she wants to take me abroad to fix my looks, to get a better educational environment overseas. But she also wants to make up for the motherly love I've been missing for over 10 years. I can't say no, this is a good opportunity. I softly patted his back to comfort him. But I really can't bear to leave you. Fang Yuan. Bai Ningbing lifted her head. She stared at me without blinking, saying, I like you. What if I really regain my looks? I cut you off before you could even finish your sentence. You really shouldn't have to go through all this suffering. Now it is just about giving back the happiness you missed out on. I playfully messed up her hair. I harshly pushed her away from my arms. From now on, you'll be a privileged young lady, someone like me, just a petty thug. It is best if you avoid getting too involved with someone like me. This isn't good for either of us. This counts as a subtle way of rejecting him. I trust that Bai Ningbing is clever enough. She definitely won't miss my hint. Sure enough, his eyes immediately filled with tears. Are you put off by me? Do you feel like I am not good enough for you? Bai Ningbing, let me just be direct. The reason I am standing up for you and taking you in, it is simply because I pity you. If it were anyone else, even if it is just a cat or a dog, I would do that too. So please don't get carried away. I don't have any feelings for you. Shu was scared by the fake fierceness he saw in my eyes. Bai Ningbing shivered suddenly, but he was obviously terrified. Yet he still held his head high and stubbornly said, even if you say that, I won't back down. Loving you is my own affair. Even if you don't accept me, I won't give in. With red-rimmed eyes, he said that. He quickly dropped what he was holding into my arms. Then, he hurriedly dashed down the stairs. He completely left me with no chance to react. I opened the crumpled piece of paper in my hand to see what it was. It turned out to be a blank check signed by Liu Qingyan. I instantly realized this was one of the compensations Liu Qingyan had given to Bai Ningbing. This little fool actually handed this over to me. He didn't even worry that I might fill in random numbers. You should know that if I just write a number and take it to the bank, so that means this huge amount of money is mine now. After a moment, I chuckled and used a lighter to burn the check completely. Do I seem like such a casual person? 5 years later, I woke up from my usual afternoon nap. After having a simple meal, I cycled to a boxing gym in downtown. I didn't make it to university in that year's college entrance exam. I didn't really react to that. Instead, I just worked even harder. A year ago, with some savings, I bought this boxing gym. Even though teaching doesn't pay much, it is still enough to get by. When I got to the front desk, a bunch of bright red roses caught my eye. Who's so cheesy to send such flashy roses to impress a girl? I teased the girl at the front desk. To my surprise, the girl covered her mouth and tried not to laugh. The boss. This bouquet was sent to you by a beautiful lady. I rolled my eyes, annoyed. You've got some nerve to joke with the boss now. Not at all. There's a card on it too. Just take a look for yourself. If you don't get what I am saying. The young girl quickly tucked the flower into her arms and dashed off. Boss, I have an exam this afternoon. Could I have some time off? Seeing her rush away, I could only shake my head in helplessness. Yet, I couldn't help but be curious about the beauty she was talking about. Over the past few years, due to my looks, I have definitely had quite a few girls confess their feelings to me, yet, without exception, I turned them all down without mercy, not for any other reason, but simply because I didn't want to drag anyone down. However, when I spotted the familiar name on the card, I was completely frozen in place. You are my fleeting impulse. You are also the love I've thought about deeply. I'm back. Can you give me a chance? Bai Ning. I haven't been in touch with her since Bai Ningbing left. I'm not surprised he could find me with his current status. I just didn't expect he still remembered me. I couldn't help but sigh in helplessness. The flower in my hand suddenly felt like a hot potato. It is a dilemma whether to throw it away or hold on to it. Oh, the beautiful lady who sent you flowers is waiting for you. She is in your office waiting for you, so you should hurry up. Just then, the little girl who was supposed to have left, she peeked her head in from outside the door again. Come on, aim to find a boss lady to bring back. I am still looking forward to you, sending me wedding treats. With that said, he finally rushed out. As I reached the office door, I suddenly felt like backing out. I did this at first, to avoid causing any delays for Bai Ningbing. The harsh words spoken only when reaching greater heights. What kind of attitude should I have towards him now? Don't make me struggle for too long. The door of the office was pulled open from the inside. A delicate little face suddenly appeared in front of me. It feels very familiar, just like when I used to give it to Bai Ning. Like the sketch drawn by Ice. She is indeed stunningly beautiful, with her restored appearance. I tugged at the corner of my mouth and greeted first. Long time no see. Is there nothing else you want to say to me besides this? Bai Ningbing has really become more confident and easygoing. It's quite gratifying for me to witness this. I casually set the flowers I was holding on the coffee table. I poured another 2 cups of tea. The flowers are lovely, but unfortunately, I've never been a fan of them. So, what do you like? Bai Ningbing looked at me with a serious expression. Actually, he had already come back to the country, and he sought me out at the first chance. But he's never had the courage to show up in front of me. In the past, my callousness really left him with a lasting impact. He is afraid that being too forward will push others away even more. He intended to create a thorough plan, but plans often fall short of reality. Not long ago, she unexpectedly noticed a young girl next to me. She got anxious right away. After all, he had taken advantage of my softness back then, having been by my side for so long. She feared that the person she liked would be snatched away first. She acted rashly without thinking. It was only after that I realized I had created a misunderstanding. I turned to leave, but then heard from the girl that I've had countless admirers around me over the years. I couldn't help but feel a pang of bitterness in my heart. But the girl not only shared my life story with her, but after hearing about our stories, she excitedly said she wanted to help me. This resulted in the situation we have now. Once she calmed down, Bai Ningbing couldn't help but reflect. I couldn't help but scold myself for being so reckless. I went to see you, but it's been a while since you last replied. Bai Ningbing couldn't help but feel her eyes welling up. Do you dislike seeing me? In the end, I still gave in. I intended to have a heart-to-heart conversation with him. I sat up straight, curious as I looked at Bai Ningbing. You say you like me, but what exactly do you like about me? I believe I made it very clear back then. It is because I wanted to help you. It is just a matter of feeling sympathy for the vulnerable. Of course, you could also see it as me offering help. It's me, the one who was once abandoned and ostracized. What you call that fluttering feeling. It is just mistaking emotions for love. And your current obsession is simply because I turned you down back then. If you think it through carefully, you'll realize that what you like is just the version of me you've imagined. That is not how it is. Bai Ningbing, I became anxious right from the first time you defended me. You've already made a mark in my heart. She was eager to defend herself, but as she continued, she felt somewhat wronged. I can't even pinpoint when I began to like you. Maybe it was the first time you told me. It wasn't my fault when I was bullied. Or perhaps, it was when you stood behind me for the first time. When I shot back at those sarcastic remarks. I don't know when I'll realize it. You are all I can think about. I know, I am a monster. I don't deserve you. But I still want to tell you, Fang Yuan, that I like you. The last sentence is Bai Ningbing. It was almost shouted out in a trembling voice. As if he had exhausted all his courage. There was a trace of determination on their faces. At this point, if I don't express myself anymore, then, I guess I am really not a real man. So I let out a soft sigh. I stood up from my seat and moved to the other side of the sofa. I slowly squatted down to look into Bai Ningbing's eyes. Jing Liang spoke in the softest tone possible. Why are you crying? I am not crying. Bai Ningbing was still being tough. I still don't know what it is about me that you like. That makes you like me, but since you are a girl, they can keep choosing me again and again, so I shouldn't dodge it either. I gazed at her earnestly. I acknowledge that I am indeed different from you and others, but her feelings aren't completely based on affection. Right from the start, I would defend her. You should have figured it out by now. You should also know what my childhood was like. That is why I've always stayed away from relationships. I am just a small-time hustler, taking it day by day. I am not sure if I can handle this well. It is about my feelings for you. I can't make any promises to you, even if it is like this for Bai Ningbing. Do you still want to have feelings for me? I calmly shared my thoughts. Then came a moment of silence. I was anxiously waiting for Bai Ningbing's decision. After a moment, Bai Ningbing suddenly wrapped her arms around me, choking back tears. She said she wanted this moment. I found myself inexplicably feeling a touch of sweetness inside. Maybe I can truly give myself a chance. Attempt to get past the hurdle of my childhood, to move towards a different future. My mind is swirling with countless thoughts. Yet, I smiled at Bai Ningbing. I look forward to your guidance in the future. My girlfriend, Bai Ningbing's smile, was completely open.